Diane, Diane. Oh my God, I don't know what to do.
Mom, what's wrong? Is it something serious?
Honey, don't be surprised. But I have some big news.
Do tell. Do tell.
Well, actually, the truth is,
Don't keep me waiting, hurry up and spit it out.
well, you're going to be a big sister.
What? I'm going to be a sister? You mean to say?
Yes, that's right. I'm pregnant. It's a little bit embarrassing, I know. But really, it shouldn't be anything to be ashamed about.
How far along are you?
I just had my 3-month appointment the other week. The doctor says the baby is doing fine.
Can you tell if it's a boy or a girl yet?
The doctor said it's still a little early to be 100% certain. But at the moment, it looks like it's a girl. You're going to have a little baby sister to play with.
Really? I'm going to get a little sister. That's fantastic. I can't believe it. You're not joking, are you?
No, I'm not joking. I have a baby in my tummy, and that means you're going to be a big sister. I know it may seem strange, after all, you are going to be 15 this year. The age gap might be a little bit of a hurdle for everyone. But that won't change the fact that she will be your little sister. Do you think you will be able to accept her into our family and into your life?
Absolutely. I'm so excited already. I've only just found out about it now. So it really hasn't had time to sink in. But for the longest time, I had been secretly hoping for a younger brother or sister. I had sort of given up on that dream, but here it is. It's becoming a reality.
Phew. I'm so relieved to hear that you are excited. After all, with such a big age gap, I thought there would be some reluctance to accept a new family member. But now that I think about it, I don't know why I was worried at all. You have always been such a great daughter. I should have known you would have been so happy for us.
Sure, I was a little bit surprised at the news. But of course, I am ecstatic. It must be difficult for you in these early stages of the pregnancy, right? I learned a little bit about pregnancy in PE class this year. Did you go through morning sickness? Were your legs bloated? You could have told me. To be honest, if you did have any problems, you hid it very well. I had no idea that you were pregnant at all.
I see. You're at that age where they teach you about these things at school, aren't you? Yes, I had a little bit of morning sickness early on. Actually, when I was pregnant with you, my morning sickness was quite severe too. So I am expecting that it will be tough this time around as well. I'm preparing myself to be a little bit off color for the duration of the pregnancy.
Well, no matter what happens, you know I'm here to help you out. I'll do whatever I can to support you. I'll help out around the house even more. And when you're really not feeling well, I'll do everything. You can rely on me. I may not have experience. But like you said, I'm going to be 15 this year.
Thanks, Diane. I knew I could count on you. I'm so glad you've grown up to be such a great person.
If it's for the family, you know I would do anything.
That's fantastic to hear. Actually, now that you mention it, there is one thing I need to ask of you. It's a bit difficult to ask.
Go ahead, Mom, ask anything you want. I'm happy to help out.
Well, the truth is, I need you to help out the family a little more.
Sure, as I said, if it's for the family, I'm happy to do it.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you for being so understanding. You're a wonderful daughter.
Okay, sure, but you still haven't told me what it is you want me to do.
Oh, yes, that's right. It's nothing much, just that on your way home from school tomorrow. And from now on, I need you to get a part-time job.
Did you say a part-time job?
Yes, that's correct. You don't have any after-school commitments, do you?
Well, no, not really.
Great. So that's settled then. You'll get a job. Oh, and just one more little thing.
Yes, mother?
Once you've found a part-time job, we will need you to work quite a few hours. So you may need to drop out of school at the end of the year.
What? I can't keep going to school?
You can finish up your final year of compulsory education remotely, if needed. But from next year, we will probably need the extra income.
But what about my future? I had plans to go to university.
Yes, we all had plans, but things change. I, for one, didn't plan to get pregnant at this age. So you see, we all have to adapt.
But why does that mean I have to drop out of school?
Well, if you've been paying attention in class, you'll know that giving birth and raising a child is not free. And I'm not proud to say it, but money is a little tight right now. And I don't know if we have enough to cover your continuing education costs while raising a baby. And that's why we will need you to help out wherever possible. One area being financially.
Are you saying our family is in a bit of a financial crisis?
I guess you could say it that way. I wasn't going to say crisis, but it's definitely a pinch. If you recall, your father lost his job last year when his company downsized. He's been trying really hard to find a new job, but so far has been unsuccessful. So for the past few months, we've been living off our savings. I don't know how much longer we can survive on that alone. Even if he does find a new job soon, it's going to take a while to rebuild the savings.
What? That's definitely a crisis situation.
Yes, perhaps you are right. Anyway, like I said, we really wanted you to continue your education. We also dreamed of you attending and graduating college. But you see, now with this little baby in my tummy, we have to refocus and do what's best for her. I'm sorry to force this upon you, but it's for the best for the family. If we continue living the way we are, with an extra mouth to feed, we may not have enough to pay the rent.
Are you serious? We're really in that bad a situation?
For the moment, we are okay. But I can't guarantee what will happen in the future. We considered moving to a cheaper place. But with property prices nowadays, it's impossible to find a big enough place at a low enough price. After all, our family is growing. So it would be pointless to downsize now.
But if we don't move and find somewhere cheaper, we're going to run out of money and not be able to pay rent anyway. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, I'm afraid that's the way it looks.
Okay. I'll do it. If it's for the family, I'll do it. I'll go and grab a local paper. There's normally a classified section in the back with part-time job listings. I'll find a job. That will allow me to work enough hours so we can at least afford to live. Even if it means not finishing my higher education. It's okay, we can make it work.
Diane. Thank you, thank you. I knew you would come around and see my point of view. Actually, you don't need to get the paper. I've already spoken to a friend of mine who runs a news agency. They've been looking for people to help deliver the newspapers. Yes, you can get a couple of routes delivered before you go to school. It's for the family. We are depending on you. Go, go, Diane. Go, go, Diane.
Hey, Diane. Look at this.
Look at what, Marie?
I just received a letter from Google's HR division. I had sent them my CV earlier this year, and it seems they were impressed. Normally, there's a lengthy recruitment process. But due to my high college entrance scores and consistent grades, they're offering me a job right away.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
I know, right? It's amazing. My graduation is at the end of the year. But it seems I'm all set after that. They assured me a job as soon as I graduate.
That's wonderful news. I'm genuinely happy for you.
Yes, well, I believe I've earned it. Considering my excellent high school grades and dedicated college studies. Not that you understand the rigors of hard work and graduation. Google must have been impressed with my resume. Maybe they spoke to my professors. Attending a prestigious educational academy certainly played a role. Dropping out of school, like you did, would have never led to this opportunity.
I understand. You've worked hard for it.
Also, Google operates differently from most companies. They value their employees greatly. For instance, they have an annual welcome ceremony for new hires. While other places might have a formal assembly, Google throws a proper dinner party. They even let new employees invite their families.
That sounds like an interesting company to work for. I've never heard of such a welcoming party for new staff. Especially with family invited. And the company covers the expenses?
Absolutely. It's a top-notch company that knows how to keep its employees happy. Not that my school dropout sister knows anything about corporate culture. The unofficial company motto is, "Your family is our family." It's a warm and friendly workplace. They've been hosting this party for a while, so families can experience the company's atmosphere. As they say, a happy employee is a productive one. The welcome party is a highlight of their annual calendar.
So, can I attend the party too? When is it? I'll clear my schedule. I'm eager to see your new workplace. And I'm sure Mom and Dad will be thrilled as well. I'm excited to see how a large company throws a party. I wonder if they'll have one of those champagne fountains with glasses stacked like a waterfall.
Well, it's unfortunate that you won't get to experience it.
Why do you say that?
Maybe you could come if you wanted. But honestly, I'd be a bit embarrassed to introduce you as my sister, who didn't even attend college. So, it's probably best if you don't come.
What?
Yes, if my new colleagues found out that my older sister didn't attend college, let alone complete higher education, I'd never hear the end of it. All my new coworkers graduated at the top of their classes and come from respected families. How do you think they'd react knowing that my family isn't well off? I'd become the subject of ridicule at the company.
I highly doubt that your educational background matters for attending a party. Why would you even need to disclose your education to anyone?
You don't need to disclose it. It's pretty obvious from your general demeanor. People can tell just by looking at you.
I strongly disagree.
Of course you would. But it's true. Once they found out that my older sister is less educated, I'd have a disadvantage. It would take me years to earn any promotions. That's why I'd prefer you not to come to the party. People with lower education should focus on taking care of the home.
Diane, did you hear the news? Our wonderful daughter Marie took your father and me out to dinner at a fancy restaurant. She received her first paycheck and wanted to pay us back for everything we have done for her.
Hang on, why wasn't I invited to that? I was wondering where everyone was and why no one was answering my calls. So, you were all out together and having such a great time?
Why would you be invited? It was your father and I who raised her. That's why she wanted to treat us to dinner.
Yes, you may be her parents. But wasn't I also very involved in raising her? Not just physically, but also financially. The least you could have done was to have included me as a member of the family. And invited me too.
What? When exactly did you help out with raising her? You did little more than just being her big sister.
Are you serious?
And in comparison to you, Marie has turned out to be a daughter to be proud of. Not only did she finish high school, she graduated from a top college and now works for Google. Your father and I are so proud of her. Unlike you, the high school dropout with a low education, I don't recall you donating your first paycheck to the family.
What?
I don't know how you two grew up to be so different from each other. I guess it goes to show that a good education can make a difference. One, a college graduate, and the other, a lowly educated school dropout. It's only natural that they both grow into totally different adults.
Hang on, Mom. Hold it right there. How can you say that to me? I've worked tirelessly for this family for years on end. How can you brush that all off now just because Marie has started working?
You claim to have worked tirelessly for this family? Would you like to know how exactly?
With pleasure. I don't see why I need to though. You may recall I only dropped out of school at your request. It may have only been a part-time job. But all the money that I earned went straight into the house savings account. Pretty much every cent that I earned went straight into the house funds. How can you so conveniently forget that now that your pride and joy daughter has graduated college?
Well, it wasn't a very memorable amount, was it? After all, most parents look forward to seeing their child's first paycheck. A well-educated graduate. Your sister brought in quite a sizable amount for her first month. High school dropout you, on the other hand.
That is so unfair. I did everything you asked of me, and more. How can you now say that it wasn't enough? I was only 15 and thrown into work. I've worked endlessly for over 20 years now just to see this family survive. I've paid the rent on your home every month since then.
So what? Why are you making such a big deal of that now? You really are a piece of work.
A piece of work? Me?
Of course. It's only natural for kids to look after their parents. And as you were the only one earning decent money, it was on you to provide for the family. You've been leeching off us for the longest time. Since you turned 20, you've been living in the apartment above the garage, after all. It's strange that you think you should be able to live there rent-free.
That makes no sense. You are the one that forced me to drop out of school and get a job. How can you now say that I was leeching? I've been paying the rent for the entire house since I was 15. What happens to make you think of me like this? What did I do wrong?
Who are you to be acting so high and mighty? Just because you gave a little bit of money to the family. You should take a leaf out of your sister's book. She didn't need to be told. And the other day she came to me and said she is going to start paying rent to stay at home now that she is working. Just until she gets settled in at work and has the time to look for a new place. She offered to pay $100 a month. She's such a good girl. She's so considerate and thoughtful of her parents.
Are you serious? She's offering you $100? You're sure there wasn't a mistake with the amount?
No, she even handed me the cash already. I'm holding it in my hands. A crisp $100 bill.
It's unfair that she can buy your affection at such a low price. Do you realize how much money I've been contributing every month to keep us in this house? Looking back, I must have been crazy to keep paying that much.
It's not fair to expect your younger sister, who just became an adult, to contribute the same as you. After all you are doing is providing the rent money. It's not like we are in your debt or anything. If you're going to take that stance, maybe we don't need your financial support. If it stops you from acting superior, we don't want your money anymore.
All right, that works for me. Thanks.
What?
I said thank you. I've canceled the automatic payments to the real estate agent.
Wait, you don't have to rush into this.
It's done. I just canceled the automatic payment plan online. Don't worry, I didn't cancel the lease or anything. You just need to pay the rent in cash. According to their website, you can arrange for the agents to come and collect the money if you prefer. You won't need to go anywhere. How convenient is that? Just have the money ready.
What? Hold on, this isn't funny. You're just joking, right? Is this your way of getting back at me for not treating you better?
It might seem that way, but I'm not joking.
Why would you do that? Why would you suddenly stop paying the rent?
I don't see why you're surprised. You told me to do the exact same thing just a few minutes ago. Clearly, you don't think much of me if you see me only as the rent money. Losing it shouldn't affect your day-to-day life.
You're right. Your father has started working again, and he's earning a good income. Besides, Marie has a stable job now. Our future looks promising.
That's good to hear. Maybe it's time for me to start fresh as well. I'm planning to move into a new place of my own. It might be better if we stop communicating. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and goodbye.
Sure, go ahead, move out. I don't know where a high school dropout like you will go, but I wish you the best.
Hey, sis. What's going on here? Something's not right. There's an issue with the rent.
What's going on? I thought I made it clear to Mom that I didn't want any contact from any of you again.
Yes, let's put that aside for now. We've got more pressing problems.
All right, Tell me about them.
Well, the real estate agent just came by to collect this month's rent.
That doesn't sound unusual. I did tell Mom that's how it works.
Yes, but he demanded $5,000 for this month's rent.
I don't see what the issue is yet. He was just doing his job, collecting rent from the tenants.
Yes, but $5,000? That's outrageous. How can rent be so expensive?
It's actually a reasonable price. It's been that way for years.
Really?
Well, it wasn't always that high. But it's gradually gone up over the years. Thankfully, it hasn't changed for about 5 years now. It might be due for an increase soon, though.
But how can this old place be so expensive? More importantly, have you been paying this rent all by yourself?
Yes, that's right. Ever since you were a baby inside Mom's tummy. Our finances were tight back then. Dad had just lost his job. And there wasn't enough money to pay the rent and support you. So Mom asked me, well, she practically begged me, to drop out of school and start working to help with the bills. Eventually, Dad found a new job. But we just stuck with the arrangement of me paying the rent and contributing to the household expenses. Back then, the rent was only around $2,000 a month. But when you were about 10, they started developing the area around here, causing prices to shoot up. I doubt Mom even knows the current rent amount.
Really?
Anyway, it's not my responsibility anymore. I wish you the best of luck in making enough money to cover the rent. That shouldn't be an issue, right? After all, you work for the renowned company, Google, don't you?
What's this all about? Since when has the rent on our place been $5,000? Marie just told me about it. That's the first I've heard of it.
I hate to break it to you, but every time the rent went up, I made sure to inform you. When it became clear that the prices were going to keep rising, I distinctly remember recommending that you make an offer to the landlord to purchase the house outright. Either that or that we move and find somewhere cheaper.
Really? I don't remember that.
I don't know how you could forget. Every time I mentioned it, you would reply, we need to save money for Marie's schooling. We can't afford to waste money like that. And other times, you would say, this is Marie's childhood home. How could we ever leave it? All you ever did was make excuses. I guess none of my advice actually sank in.
Is that so? That doesn't sound like me.
Even after Dad got a new job, and we started having a little bit of money left over at the end of each month, you still insisted on me paying the rent. Perhaps you just got used to having someone else pay for you. You never once offered to help out, not even a little bit. And here I was paying all of my wage to make sure we had a roof over our heads. And you were spending all of your own money on Marie only. The only reason you could afford to send her to high school and then on to college was all because you didn't have to worry about paying rent. And what was it you said to me the other day? All you are doing is providing the rent money? I think we can all agree now that I was providing a lot more than just financial support. You all considered me nothing more than a lowly educated school dropout. I was nothing but a joke to you all.
What are you whining about now? Also, how on earth is a dropout like you able to afford $5,000 a month in rent? You're not involved in any illicit activities, are you? Surely that's the only way you could ever make any money. And if that's what's actually happened, that has to be way worse than being a high school dropout. Do I have to be worried about the police coming around here soon?
There you go, off on one of your wild fantasies again. You do realize that it is possible for people without a college education to earn good salaries. Some of us easily earn $200,000 a year.
200,000? Do you mean to say?
Yes, that's right. I earn roughly that amount every year. That's why I was able to afford the rent every month. You see, it's not necessary to work in a large corporation to earn a decent salary. And a college education is not always held in such high regard in the real world. Even in a small to middle-sized corporation. If you work hard and work your way towards near the top, you can easily earn that much. And I emphasize near the top. The higher you climb, the more you can earn.
No way. And that's where you are? Near the top? Are you honestly telling me that you earn $200,000 a year? That can't be possible.
It is very possible. I know it's possible because I'm doing it. When I was forced to leave school early and start working, I began learning how to work hard and save. It wasn't just the money I was earning, but also the life skills to help me get ahead in the workforce. Simply because I had a head start on my peers. It allowed me to get ahead in the workplace and climb the ladder. While everyone else was still at school studying, I was learning practical skills that would be far more valuable and beneficial than any piece of paper from the Board of Education.
And that has led you to earning $200,000 a year?
It was partly that, and also a bit of luck. One day early on, I caught the eye of the CEO. He must have been impressed with what he saw as he offered me a new position. With more responsibility and naturally a higher salary. In this new position of middle management, I was able to hone my skills and get ahead even quicker than the others around me. It wasn't long before I was in the upper management team.
But surely that's not how the world works. How can a high school dropout with no education climb so high in the business world? If anyone was to succeed, surely it would be your younger sister? I don't get it. You? $200,000? And being able to afford $5,000 rent a month without batting an eye?
Yes, it does seem strange to me too that I could continue that life for so long. But it's okay, I realized my mistakes, and now I intend to live my life to the fullest.
Hang on, Diane, don't make any rash decisions. I know there have been some misunderstandings in the past, but they were nothing more than that. Some things were said that were not correct when given the proper context. I realize my mistakes now. Now that I know the truth, I will never ridicule you again. I'm so sorry about ever hurting your feelings. So I'm begging you. Please come back. The flat out the side is still as you left it. You can move back in there. And we can continue living as a happy family.
Who in their right mind would agree to move back, after all you have said? From now on, you only have one daughter. Please enjoy your happy family life with the apple of your eye, Marie. Have a nice life, Mother. After that, I proceeded to delete all contact information for my family and blocked them. I was finally free to live my own life. All the money that I earned stayed in my own pocket. It feels so good to be able to do what I want when I want. As for my parents and sister, it would appear that their life was not as easy as they were expecting. I think they were looking forward to enjoying Marie's salary while I continued to pay the rent. I found out later that my father had already taken early retirement, as they imagined they would be rolling in cash. But, as you know, things didn't work out as they were hoping. When I moved away and they lost their free rent, their financial situation got a little bit tighter. On top of that, Marissa had only just started working, and her salary for the first year was nowhere near what they were expecting it to be. I think I heard she earned just enough each month to cover the rent only. So they had no disposable income at the end of each month. Despite all of that, my parents refused to consider moving to a different house. They can be so stubborn. My father considered making an offer to purchase the house using his retirement funds. But even that was not enough. In order to cover the funding, Marie had to take out a loan from the bank. To help with the repayments, Mom and Dad also had to go back to work, both of them finding part-time jobs. Only then were they able to return to some sort of normal life.